among them the guarantee that we have now that 8.6 billion shillings will be going to our universal health care workers. Workers who are doing a splendid job right in our villages, in dispensaries, and even some, the CHPs, visiting patients in their homes. Honorable Speaker, the only way to guarantee that that work, good work continues is supporting devolution. And therefore, those who say that Sam Atandi, because as chair, Sam Atandi does not work alone. He does not work alone, and he's not doing this alone. CS John Mbadi doesn't work alone in the National Treasury. He has made decisions in consultation with everybody that he works with in Treasury, professionals who have weighed the situation. I have sat with Sam Atandi and members of the Budget Committee for hours. This last weekend, there is no other work we did other than think through this process of division of revenue and even try to weigh where can we raise more money. What else can we cut to be able to get more money for our county governments? And the fact that we're able to get this additional 8 billion shillings is good for the country, is good for our county governments. And therefore, those who are saying that, oh, people don't support devolution, I don't know who is a letdown to the spirit of devolution. The greatest betrayer of the spirit of devolution is that person who uses an institution where you sit to extort governors. Because if you're extorting governors, those governors have nowhere to get money. Those governors must go and steal from their counties to be able to bring you money where you're extorting them in those committees. Honorable Speaker, you know, these are things that are in the public domain. Governors named Senator Sifuna as among the top extortionists in the Senate. You saw him trying to box the governor for Samburu because I think he had run away out of the Senate and refused to attend a committee where he wanted to go and extort. We must not allow some of these vilified characters to destroy the name of the institution of the Senate. Our Senate has very serious senators. And that is why I must commend governors who named the 4 senators they named as a chief extortionists. Top among those was Senator Sifuna. So he has no more authority to speak about John Mbadi, a great professional. FCPA John Mbadi, or a banker and an expert like Sam Atandi. Because they are doing their work and doing it well. And Sam Atandi, I want to tell you, together with CS Mbadi, do your work without fear or favor. What you have done is good for governors, is good for devolution. You have ensured, unlike what we were discussing last week, because the options we had was to introduce a clause into this mediated version that if we have a shortfall in revenues in the next financial year, then we share that shortfall in revenues on pro rata basis. That would mean if you have a shortfall of 100 billion shillings, for instance, counties on pro rata basis would take a cut. Now counties have an assurance that irrespective of what happens, they will not have a reduction in their shareable revenue. They will not have a reduction in their additional county allocations. What better deal could there be? And I must thank the leadership in the Senate, because they know the people to put in mediation are not senators like Senator Sifuna. Because they will take the extortion also to the mediated mediation committees. I must thank my counterpart, leader Senator Aaron Cheruyot, and the leader of minority, leader Madzayo, because they also know what kind of senators they can send to serious business. These other people, they can be sent to funerals, to rallies, to stand on top of cars with flags. They can do that they are allowed. But I told them the other day, you know, some of these things are just quick fires. Quick fires that burn very quickly for a short time, then get diminished with time, because Kenyans can see through you. Kenyans know when you are an extortionist, when you speak loudest against corruption, yet you are the chief extortionist in the Senate. when you speak loudest about accountability and transparency, yet you cannot show the people of Nairobi anything you have done for the time you have served them as a leader or as a senator, or anything that you have pushed for in your life as a leader. Let me say, shame on them if they will use the floor of Senate to vilify a member of this House. We will equally use the floor of this Parliament to tell the world who they are. And that is why I took liberty also to tell the world who that disgraced senator for Nairobi is. He's an extortionist par excellence. Honorable Speaker, forgive me for getting there. But this mediated version is the best that we could. In fact, the day before yesterday, we were at 425. We have had to take cuts in areas that will be painful to other people, but all in the support for devolution. I know in the 10-point agenda, Honorable Speaker, we committed to moving the shareable revenue to 450 billion, and we shall get there. Let me say we shall get there. We shall get there. The temporary setbacks that we have today because of the issues that are there globally will not persist for long. And that's why I said we continue to pray for peace. We pray that the situation will improve. And I foresee in the near future the 454 billion that the Senate had desired. And I know the Council of Governors, because we've also extensively engaged with the Council of Governors on this subject, we will get to a point where we will even get above this 454 billion. All we need is to grow our economy. And as we grow our economy, we must be very prudent in how we apply the resources that we have available for us now and in the future, Honorable Speaker. And that is why I want to urge the House that we support this mediated version. Tomorrow, we are due to listen to the revenue-raising measure statement from CS John Buddy. And I know even in the difficult situation that he sits in, he's preparing. And I know because, Honorable Speaker, we need to prepare this chamber for that work tomorrow. Let me end there so that we give a few more people an opportunity to speak to this mediated version. But I want to urge you, let us all support this mediated version. And as our colleagues in the Senate have done, the well-meaning senators understand, and they have supported this mediated version, and our good governors support it because they're also aware of the situation as it is, Honorable Speaker, because any further reductions would have meant we eat into our money for education or our money for universal health coverage under the primary health care fund. And all these monies are going to serve the people that we serve as members of parliament, the same people who are served by the senators and governors as the people of Kenya, the people who have sent us to represent them here. I support.
The Honorable Millie, you are on record. Do you want to speak to this?
Yes.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support the mediated version, and in saying so, I want to thank the committee members. I know it was not an easy task, and I want to thank the chairman of budget. They've done an excellent job. In the circumstances, people may sometimes not understand, even when you are committed to devolution. Mr. Speaker, people may not understand that even with the aspirations that even Baba Raila Amolo Odinga had, but with the challenges that we are facing, very few people don't know that the country and even the world at large is facing economic challenges, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, it means that everywhere people must be willing to take cuts so that we actually prioritize the core issues or the important issues in the country. Mr. Speaker, the challenge that I have, Mr. Speaker, and I don't know how we will work at it, maybe it's something that the National Assembly needs to look at, is the issue of accountability of funds. Every year we come into this House and our governors fight for allocation of more funds. But Mr. Speaker, when it comes to accountability, there's always a challenge. And I wish that the level of accountability that is seen in CDF allocation would actually be reflected even in the counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if I would give an example, if you look at the allocation that goes to NGCDF, and and you compare with, for instance, what goes on to our counties, and you find and you compare the number of classrooms before we go into dormitories and laboratories and buses and other things that people buy, and you look at what our governors are able to do, we must look at what the problem is. What is a problem that we cannot see the evidence of the amount of money that is allocated and what goes down? And if the governors are facing structural problems, they need to bring it to the House so that we look at how we are dealing with it. Otherwise, we will always blame the governors for ineptness and for inability to produce results. Because I would say that with the amount of money that NGCDF has, you'll find that where NGCDF has one class, in one ward, for instance, it takes the counties another 10 wards before you see any other construction. And why is there such slow process? Devolution was actually initiated to ensure that we have accelerated growth, especially in areas that have hitherto been marginalized. And so, Mr. Speaker, it's very disappointing that every year we come in and we seek to enhance that allocation. Mr. Speaker, I know that we are in political times, and I would want to encourage, it's very nice when you have robust discussions here. And so it's very nice when we challenge Honorable Senator Sifuna. And the more we do it, the more you give him more profile. So if you want to give him more profile, continue mentioning his name. Mr. Speaker, I know because I always mention people favorably. People always wonder, some people tell me I sit on the fence, which I don't mind because I sit with my buttocks, I don't borrow anybody's. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, my kind of politics is that I play a politics of praising the person I want. So I'll praise myself, I'll praise my candidate, but I'm not really too much given to trying to underrate people, calling them, I don't know, they lack intelligence. So even if it is Sifuna who did that, I think it is wrong. I was actually went and asked the chairman what Sifuna said because I didn't hear. So if Sifuna did that, it is wrong. If Ichung'wah is doing it, it is wrong. It is wrong for us to keep calling people names here. And especially when we are in a technological era when children are seeing this. In the past, I used to do that, but I've become born again, Mr. Speaker. I don't do such things anymore. We must remember that our young children are watching us, and we should stop calling people names. And especially, some of us who are lawyers, we take offense when you call a fellow lawyer as an idiot. I may be an idiot in economics, though I'm not overly an idiot. I got a principal pass in my A-levels in economics. But you probably may also be an idiot when it comes to matters of law. So let us be respectful of other members. Let us disagree politically. So let Sifuna support his one term, you support 2 term. Me, Millie, I'll support my candidate. In my own style and in my own way. I think a lot of us want us to say that if I say 1 term, that is when I'm not supporting the president. Or if I say 2 term, that's when I'm supporting the president. You are not the one who manufactures my mouth or my language on how I support. I support in the language, in the style, and the way I deem fit and I deem best. So I think what we want to do, sometimes we cause other people to move away from us by our styles. Let us do or encourage styles that, are more inclusive. Some of us, if I go to my constituency, I can tell you that I see evidence of growth. I can see evidence of work that the president is doing. But don't tell me to say 2 term. You say that one if you want. I don't use your style. I can go and tell Suba North people that there is Rusinga Ring Road. You, if you are a psychopath and you want to do that, go and do it yourself. I will not do it. I'm Milio Diambo Mabona, aka bad girl, aka Geza Geza. You don't teach me how to do my politics. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I want to say